Travelers among mountains and streams, I finally painted heaven and earth's backbone. In 1002 at Song's sinking 5th year, Fan Quan was in prime. I sold my house in Qingdian, pawned my pots, and with painting tools, went into the Zheng Mount. Others laughed at me for being mad. I said, the mountains I painted were small because I stood high. I'll face the mountain, then bow to it. So, I moved into a ravine, sleeping with rocks and keeping pines and streams company. Spring, watch clouds rise. Summer, listen to waterfalls. In autumn, I gathered red leaves on the mountain. In winter, I did squat by the cliff, watching snow sharpen ridges. I wanted to hide the Zhongnan Mountain's grandeur in my heart. Then, in one breath, I did unleash it on this silk. First, I let the distant mountains dominate heaven and earth. The main peak thunders down from the top, almost touching your nose. It takes up a full 2/3 of the frame. The mountaintop is painted dark with ink. Those are bones pounded by rain for millennia. I used short, sharp raindrop strokes, layer after layer. By the 70th layer, my fingers bled. I painted until the silk shone. Every stroke was like the endless rain in the mountains, crashing on the lowest plateaus rocks, splashing, crashing, splashing. Someone asked me why I don't paint blue-green mountains like Li Cixin. I replied, blue and green are like rouge and powder. What I paint is the soul from rocks, the backbone of heaven and earth. At the foot of the mountain, I left only a very narrow path. A team of donkeys and horses squeezes by. The people are as small as black rice grains. The lad porter is bare-shouldered, wearing a turban and a beard, holding a long staff. He looks back at 4 donkeys behind. The person behind holds a whip and a bundle. I painted them so small. Not a shaky hand, but to make you see the mountain when you look up. Look down again, and you'll notice the people. Before the Zhongnan Mountains, even the emperor must bow. I've heard those donkey bells hundreds of times. Ting-dailing, mountain laughing. You come and you go. I come, and I am here forever. Look again at the water in the mountains, seeping out from the darkest, deepest places. As if the mountain squeezes out winter tears. The waterfall is tint, a white line, but hundreds of thin threads leaping down. Halfway down, swallowed by mist. The mist was applied from the back with a wet cloth. It's as white as freshly cracked snow. In the right valley, black and white collide. The waterfall is as thin as a needle. Yet, it can pierce the valley. I painted thousands of trees, none alike. Nearby pine needles are countable. I used a pencil brush to paint leaves one by one. Those in the distance are a smudge of ink, like leaves crumpled by wind. The old trees have knotted roots. Their roots dig into the rocks, as if to say, I was here first and will outlive you. After the last stroke, I laid the scroll on the grass. I stepped back. When the wind blew, the mountain breathed. I squatted and cried for the first time. Not because the painting was good. It was because I finally stole the Zhongnan Mountains. It could never drive me away again. Oh, don't forget. My name was Fan Quan originally. Quan Broad was what the mountain folk later called me for being slow-tempered, generous, and non-argumentative. I smiled and accepted it. What's in the name? The mountain is wider than me. I hid my name, Fan Quan, in the darkest corner of the afternoon thicket. So small it's almost invisible. Because this painting is not mine. It's from Zhongmao Mountains. I just found a body for it to live 1,000 years. Later, it was collected by Emperor Haizong. Even later, it traveled to Taipei. The scrolls cracked, pigments faded, but the mountain's still breathing. Those tiny figures have walked half the way. Today, as you slowly unroll this painting in the north branch of the Palace Museum, please tread lightly. Listen. Raindrops fall, donkey bells ring. And the heartbeat I left in the mountains when I was in my 40s. I'm Fan Quan. I left no sin. I left no land. I left only this unbowed mountain. It has stood for me for 1,023 years. In the future, I ask it to keep standing. For everyone who has entered the mountains and had to leave. To place the spirit of the Zhongnan Mountains into their hearts. Regrettably, you and I are merely passers-by between heaven and earth.